Top Hill Recording Podcast, episode 179. Tonight's special guest, Caden Glover.
He's a man named Cricket, he's a hillbilly folk. He likes some gravy and a chicken named Tooks. Don't give a care, cause he's 6'5". Cricket picks a banjo and he makes moonshine. It's a ram big in time in the mountains you see. Gonna searching just a cricket and me. Picking them rams and I'm bringing back down. Me and no cricket gonna sail a man town. Down to his knees. He drove an old Chevrolet, his Forest Service green. Like to get in trouble, Lord, and he never had no shame. Long-head hippie Frank Cricket plays Mother Nature's game. With the head down to his knees. He drove an old Chevrolet, Forest Service green. Like to get in trouble, Lord, and he never had no shame. Long-head hippie Frank Cricket plays Mother Nature's game.
All right.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Caden, welcome to the top of the hill, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for driving all the way up.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
You're on the road a lot, it looks like, man.
All the time, everywhere.
Well, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
We're going to have you start off. We always start off with a similar question. So why don't you take us back to childhood and tell us your earliest memories of music, and then if there's a point that stands out, like as a time you realized music was going to be a big part of your life, when that might have been.
Well, as a kid, I don't think there was my dad listened to a lot of hip hop, but other than that, there wasn't anything that inclined me to even play anything. But when I was I think I was in 8th grade, so I was 11 or 12, I just decided one day I wanted to play. I mean, that's really as simple as it was. Nobody else in my family plays. Nobody was really inclined to listening to anything of the music that I play even. So
were your friends players or anything? Or?
No, not until high school. So I really, it's kind of a mystery besides I was just meant to do it, I guess.
Previous life, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
That's wild.
I just took it up. One day I started on the banjo. And that's my main instrument, actually. But one day I just literally had never even listened to bluegrass, and I just wanted a banjo. And then the rest is history, I guess.
How'd you get the banjo?
So I told my dad that I wanted it. And mind you, he doesn't play anything. Like I said, he listens to classic hip hop. But that's about as far as his music knowledge even goes.
Yeah. Huh.
But I told him, and one day I came home from school, and there it was, and I learned to play, and I learned by ear. So I started listening, and it consumed me from then on. So
really,
how old are you?
I'm 19 now.
19 years
so
old.
It's
Okay.
been a few years.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you first picked up the banjo?
I was about 11 or 12.
What about the guitar?
The guitar was like a few years after that. I was playing the banjo and then
Like to hit and
to learn the same stuff I knew on banjo on guitar. So I asked for a guitar for Christmas, and I'd always had one, but not one that was worth playing. But I asked for a guitar for Christmas, and then I took up the guitar and just I liked a lot of the bluegrass stuff, and it kind of just evolved into a lot of Southern rock, and that's kind of what made me want to sing and play and do all that jazz. And so it's kind of a mix of everything. Is what's going on.
That's an interesting start. So you're hearing hip hop at the house.
Yeah.
Where did you hear bluegrass?
I really don't know.
You don't remember?
I really do not know.
Yeah.
I mean, I come from like a really rural part of West Virginia. My hometown only has about 400 people.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But
Okay.
still, even there, like, there was nobody who was like listening to bluegrass. I mean, I knew what it was, but I might have known like Rocky Top or something. But other than that,
Yeah.
it just came out of nowhere, really.
So what did you listen to start out? Did you listen to traditional bluegrass,
I did.
like old fiddle tunes and stuff like that?
I listened to a lot of Doc Watson and
Tony
like
Rice. And,
exactly, and that stuff even came later. The first stuff I remember was Lester Flatt's, Earl Scruggs, Ralph Stanley, that type of deal, and
Foggy Bottom and all
exactly.
that type of stuff. All right.
When I got into the guitar, then I got more into Doc Watson, and it just Tony Rice blew my mind.
Yeah, Tony Rice.
Blake,
I
and all
mean,
them guys. Yeah.
oh man, you're a guitar player and you listen to the
Exactly.
Tony Rice record, and your mind's not blown.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you, when you're traveling around playing, do you still pull the banjo out?
I do here and there. Like
Yeah.
I said, it's more so my main instrument, really. I think I can do double what I can on a guitar on the banjo. So
Is that right?
Really?
it's
Do
I bring it out when I can, pretty much.
We
yeah.
might send you out
Do
to
you
the
not
van,
play?
man.
Do you not play with anybody?
Not as of now, but I've been getting around a lot more in Kentucky. There's just nobody at home that even plays.
That plays
Like,
bluegrass.
yeah, there's nobody. So I mean, I've been all over Kentucky, and people don't realize the amount of people that play around here. I
There's
didn't
a
even know
ton
it.
of
So
players around here. Yeah, we got a lot of.
hopefully in the near future that'll be get settled in and with a band and whatnot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So you dropped in here on us from, you came in from West Virginia, and then tomorrow you're going to be in Dry Ridge.
Yeah, at Moonbird. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's around, I didn't know where Dry Ridge was. You?
Mm-mm.
I think it's around Florence. Yeah, kind of northern Kentucky.
Florence,
Yeah, Florence,
y'all.
y'all.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. So, I mean, you're to be young. When did you start playing out live music?
Well, I graduated a year ago in May of 22.
And Caden is not drinking bourbon with us, by the way.
Yeah, that's a fact.
He's bourbon
No, I'm not. But I graduated in May of 22, and I kind of knew that's what I like wanted to do, but I didn't know how to even go about that or what you even did to take those steps. That's all I was pretty much known for, and that's all. There was nothing, absolutely nothing that I could picture myself doing other than playing music. And so I just started playing gigs around, and then it kind of just grew from there. And it wouldn't say exploded, but once I started playing out more, everybody kind of realized who I was around my home area and surrounding areas. So I got out there a little bit, and then one thing led to another, and now I go everywhere.
So, how much opportunity did you have when you were, I guess you're, 18 when you get out of high school and you're looking for these gigs? How far do you have to travel away from your hometown? Do you have a spot? Is there like a restaurant you can play in your hometown? What do you got to do to get out?
As far as opportunity, there's none. Like, there's 2 bars in the whole county that you can play at and a Mexican restaurant. And that's in the whole county. We don't have, like, just give you a perspective, we don't have any stoplights, no fast food, no Walmarts or anything, no nothing.
What's the name of the
And,
town?
Sounds like where
It's
Brad's
Union.
going this weekend.
Yeah.
He's got his second
you-
house in North Dakota.
Yeah.
Union, Kentucky.
Union, West Virginia.
Union, West Virginia.
Union, Kentucky. I don't know. Is there a Union, Kentucky? There
There's
is.
a Union County. I don't know if there's a
So they
Union.
don't have music at the two bars?
They do, but it's your classic
Southern Rock.
local.
music.
Yeah, your classic local guys that are a little bit old for the most part. There's one other guy. There's only one other guy who's kind of helped me a lot actually with getting gigs because he's played forever and he's done it for a job for a long time too. So he really helped me a lot getting out of the county and all that stuff. So yeah, for even the closest place that has more opportunity and still considered a tiny little town, but it's like 35 minutes away. I mean, that's the closest you're going to get to anything opportunity-wise with bars to play in and whatnot. So,
You said you taught yourself to play. Like, did you? What did that look like for you? Were you looking at YouTube or just you said by ear, right? Mostly.
a lot. Yeah, a lot of like I don't even know. Even today, like obviously I can get an idea of what I'm playing, but like when I was learning, it was so hard for me to. Even a tutorial on YouTube was just hard to watch, I guess. It was more so easier just to listen to it and watch somebody just play it the way it's supposed to be played. And even now, that's the way it's the way I learn something if I'm going to learn it is just listen to it and maybe watch them play it. But I can't do all that other stuff. So I don't even know how I learned. I just did. I guess it was because I was young. I just soaked it all in maybe, but
Oh wow, yeah.
it's still kind of a mystery to me why I even play anyway. So
Yeah,
Like
it
I
must
said
just be in
before.
you. Yeah.
yeah,
So do you know chords and things like do you?
yeah.
Okay, so you know the names of
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
learned all that over the years, but at
Yeah.
the beginning, like really, I knew nothing. I knew how to play it, but I really didn't know what the name of what I was playing, type of deal, like chords and.
Reason I asked
Sounds
that.
like Jeff
Rolls.
Donahue.
Yeah, that's the reason I was asking. We have a neighbor up here on the hill that's a good player, but if you tell him to play a G chord, he wouldn't know what you're talking about.
And
Hey,
that's,
he's played for 60 years.
I mean, still even like that's insane, but like still, I know the basics, but all the other crazy stuff, I guess I kind of know just from hearing it
hmm
and playing with other
That's
people type
that.
of deal.
That's there are people that learn like that. I learn like that. I can get more out of
Exactly.
hearing it on the radio than I
Exactly.
can sitting and looking at tab.
Yeah.
Tab
Like, I have
is-
no clue how to even
Everything
read
I know
any
is
of
from
that
tabs,
stuff.
man.
No.
I couldn't figure out a song by ear if my life depended on it. So, I think it's awesome that you all can do
You
that.
could, because you don't have to go, all right, that's in G just by listening to it. It's experiment. It's playing. I always think, I mean, this is a inside tip that I guess for me, find what the root note is
Oh,
on
yeah.
the top
Yeah.
string. Go with the top string, the E or the A, and if it's right there. All the notes are
Yeah.
there. So it goes, and then you go, okay, it's in C.
Yeah.
And then you figure it out from there because everything makes sense once you figure out where it's at. And then you'll get to the point where you don't do that. Then you can just go, okay, that's in C. You can hear it on the radio and go, okay, it's C, F, G, A minor, C. You know.
Exactly.
You and
don't-
Caden can do that. I'll never be able to do that.
Well, you-
Well, it is interesting the
And that's
way
exactly how I learned too. So.
Yeah.
it is interesting the different way people learn because I've learned that from being around Neil. I've taught myself how to be able to pick something up by ear now, but it doesn't come naturally to me. You know, like I said, I pick through the first 5 frets on the top string, the first 5 on the, until I find it that way. But it's not the way. I'm kind of like Brent. I like to see it.
Yeah.
On the internet. Don't even try.
Yeah, and then I just tend to play something over and over until I get it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, I wish like I knew how to read that stuff and I could probably sit down and learn it, but I just.
I don't
sounds
think you need to
crazy.
worry
I don't,
about
I
it.
don't have the patience
Mhm.
for it. And
Yeah, you
I
definitely
mean,
don't need to.
it's like Ethan, my youngest, he plays Barry sax in the orchestra and he can read music And when he looks at that stuff, it makes sense. I've learned it when I was in like chorus, but I know every good boy does find always or whatever, face and all the acronyms on a music clef, but it would take me an hour to read like 32 bars of something like that. It's just, that's not how I would ever learn.
Exactly.
It's not interesting.
Take me a quarter of the time just to listen to it.
Let me hear it.
So you're working hard, Caden, man. I see you, I mean, you're traveling all over the place playing, in the region. Just after high school, did you just decide that's what you were going to do and just hit the road? I mean, because you're on the road a lot for, a 19-year-old just getting out of high school.
Yeah, I got out of high school and I was like, actually for a solid month, I was looking for a job around. And like I said, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, like even job-wise home. I mean, you're either a farmer or you're just retired. And there's really not much. So you either travel or you do something else or you move. So I was just kind of looking around trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I was like, well, why couldn't I, just give it a shot at least? I'm still, at the time I was 18, so I was still young, semi-young.
Oh, you're old as hell now.
I was younger, I guess I should say. So then I tried it, and this was in June. By August, I was making semi-stable, like money-wise, on the job end of it. Never mind that that's what I love to do, but you got to have money anyway, unfortunately. But so I was making stable enough money to live off of, and then from there, it's just gotten more and more and more. And it's what I want to do. I want to go big on whatever you call it.
So when you aren't playing, do you go back to this small town?
Yeah, kinda. I'm everywhere, so I've got a girlfriend in this small town. So
okay, look,
she keeps me grounded.
The only thing I wrote was "Why go home?" and now I guess I know he's got a girlfriend there because otherwise. Like you said, there's not a ton of opportunity there. There's not. So that's it. That's what takes you back every.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not even. She's a big part of it, but I don't think that I could ever stay away from there. I know I just said there's nothing to do, and there's not. It's the little town of Union, and that's what it is. That's all there is. There's like 2 or 3 restaurants in the town, and that's it. And the whole county is like that. So I don't know what it is about it, but everybody
home.
It's home.
Part of you.
Hey, it's good. I think it's good to have a home base.
Yeah.
For sure.
Even if you're all traveling around, but I have a home base to come back to.
Exactly.
Does your girlfriend work in Union?
She does.
Yeah.
We have a dentist office, so there's that. It's the only dentist office in the county, so she works there as a hygienist.
All right. So she's there you go. You got to go back.
Yeah. So, I mean, either way, in the long run, I travel so much, but that'll always be kind of home base,
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, how about another tune? Play us another one. Tell us what you're going to play us.
This one is called Left-Handed Cigarettes. This is another original. No, I'll get to it.
Okay.
Daddy made the moonshine, Mama made the wine. Lived off for nothing, but we sure is right. Over in the front yard, sitting on the lawn. Oh, with the story, picking on a song. Cigarettes, free on had enough of them to know. Evil fix your broken soul. Winters are coming and it sure is cold. His body hides from the worry and woe. She's by the fire when it's hot to steal from home. Base memories stripping of his thorn. I've had enough of them to know. It ever fix your broken soul. I've had enough of them to know. It ever fix your broken soul.
Thank you.
Pisses me off that I've been playing the guitar about 5 times longer than he has.
Just accept it, Brad. I've accepted it.
Thank you.
So that first song, Cricket, is that based on anybody in Union?
It's actually kind of based on a few different people. Some of my friends.
Yeah.
Classic stuff. Classic high school type of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We talked about when you started playing, but how about the songwriting? When did you start with that?
Honestly, I haven't even been songwriting for what I feel like that long. It's been like a year and a half, sort of. So that just kind of felt like something that I was supposed to do, I guess, as somebody who plays music. And then I kind of realized after writing a bunch of crappy songs that what songwriting really was, I guess. So I feel like I'm a lot better now after a lot of trial and error. And
do you think it was just the process of writing that got you to that realization?
That's not something I would say came straight to me, but at the same time, I don't, just like everybody else, nobody likes a cheesy song. So like I really try to think outside of the box, but this was a little bit of a process to get there, I feel like.
I like that, man. And some of the chord changes on there were unexpected.
Yeah.
Different. I liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like what your right hand is where all the action is. Serious. That's where, you got a lot of tone out of what you're doing with the right hand, which I imagine started because you were a banjo player first.
All of that. Even finger picking. So I got a few songs that I'll do with that type of deal, but I blame all of that on the banjo. Like, everything like that came straight from the banjo. Definitely would not be able to play the guitar in the style that I do without that feature of the banjo.
It definitely teaches you a dexterity that you don't start with on a guitar. You have to have a lot of intent.
Yeah.
to learn the guitar finger style first. I think, but when you start with banjo, you got claw hammer, or you can learn how to roll.
Yeah.
So having that as a basis is huge for your guitar playing, and just I can't imagine where that's going to go. Now, you talk about kind of stumbling into the guitar, and then songwriting because you figured you should.
Yeah.
All right. And you're young, so this is kind of like, you're real young, like fresh into it. Even though you've been playing and traveling and doing the things, are you starting to get to the point where you're putting intention behind the moves you make? Because when the ability is there, you can play like that, and your songs are already very, very cool. Do you have intent behind every move you make? Because you are at that age where if you have to make I have a kid that's your age that I'm like going, start making plans. And for you, I'm like, are you stepping out? You talk about wanting to do this for a career. That doesn't magically happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You doing the traveling, doing the stuff, but are you having big picture goals, not just dreams, but
definitely.
I need to be here in a year. I want to get to this point in 5 years.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
That's a big thing that I think all musicians, I guess, deal with. Like, I definitely absolutely want to do this for the rest of my life. Even if I'm home and I don't have something to play that day, I'm playing at home every little chance I get. It's all I eat, sleep, and breathe. So I know there's obviously something there that I feel like I need to do with. And, but yeah, I try to plan goals and whatnot. And I absolutely try to think ahead for, a year ahead, what kind of venues I want to be playing, and I want to be just a step ahead here and blah, blah, blah. And unfortunately, mixed in with all of that, money's another type of deal. It's hard to make a job out of something like this. So at the same time, I have to kind of take a step back and, think, well, also there's this one that might pay a little more, maybe get a little bit of money here, and then we go do this type of deal,
So, like, when it comes to getting out and doing shows, do you kind of put small runs together where, all right, if I'm going to leave town, I'm going to get these 4 shows and then come back, have some money?
I definitely try to, at least,
Yeah. I could imagine, man, like, I don't know, the life of a musician is tough. I know that watching that grind, but it is very doable, especially in these days. There's so many more ways to market yourself. And with you being young and talented and eager, I always thought growing up, because I've played since I was young like you, that if you're good enough, it'll just come find you. It's just not the way it works. It's the grind.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's the hours. It's knocking on doors and playing with as many people as you can. And yeah, man, that's why I just asked about intent, because I see there's a clear path for you to spend your life doing this.
Yeah, and it's really hard to figure out what the right way would be to go, blah, blah, blah. Of course, everybody's like, oh, well, are you going to Nashville? And it's hard to explain to people that that's not the way to go anymore. Mm-hmm. It's kind of just more so the traveling type of deal, but it's hard to get around all these different bars, some places, some people not even listening to you type of stuff, and it is hard.
In some places, you'd have issues getting booked because you're not 21. I mean,
exactly. That's another thing.
that is something that coming in I didn't think about.
No, I didn't either.
Well,
one, he's about 6'4".
6'4".
Are you really 6'4"?
I am 6'4".
You're tall, but I never go. Yeah.
I was just sitting here thinking. I bet Bet the football coach at high school wished he didn't play the guitar so much.
Yeah. Basketball, football.
Yeah, I was big into basketball, but
Were you?
Yeah.
that was right about the time that I started playing music, and I just was like, you know what? No,
I ain't going pro in that. Maybe in something else.
Saw your van out in the driveway. Is it set up for living in, or
I make it that way, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not, but I make it work. Yeah, hauling all my stuff, and
is that where you usually stay when you're out traveling around?
occasionally, yeah. If I have to, then I will. It's not bad though.
Yeah.
I make it work for sure.
There's a lot of people that
check it out.
A lot of people do that because they want to. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. I saw
Van life, right?
There was a podcast that said if you choose to live in your van or something like that, and it's like, I don't know if people choose to do that forever. It's like recreational, right?
I saw one now because, like, some of the nice camper vans.
Oh, some of those are crazy.
It was like the meme from Chris Farley's Saturday Night Live, and it was like, people used to get made fun of for living in a van down by the river. It's like now you can live in a van down by the river for like $200,000.
Literally.
Legit. I don't know how that happened, but it did.
All right, Caden, we're going to ask you a few questions.
All right.
It's time
Weston's questions. We forgot this with Oliver, man. We didn't do Weston's questions.
Well, we got on the recording spiel, man. Yeah.
Oh, we could have went on that for a long time.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
So, tell our listeners something about you that has nothing to do with music that be interested to know.
Well, I guess the other side of me is like I grew up on a farm, so that was another big part of my life and still is. But
So your family's farmers?
Yeah. Yeah, my grandpa, he's a big farmer, so he's taught me a whole lot. And
what would he farm?
Do what?
What do you farm?
Cattle.
Cattle. Okay,
Angus
cattle farming.
Yeah. And then we live butt upright to a dairy farm. So
You ever had to put on those big gloves?
I haven't, but I've been there many a times when it's happened. And I worked on a dairy farm for 3 years, so done all that stuff. That's quite
the hard labor stuff, isn't it?
That really is, yeah.
Time you get up in the morning?
On the mornings I had to milk. It was about 5 or 5:30.
Yeah.
It's
no lazy farmers, man.
No, especially not in dairy farming and any type of farming. But I'm glad we lived right beside a dairy farm, so I got that aspect of stuff, and then all the other stuff I was doing with my grandpa and whatnot.
It's probably bad. Just the way you talk about music. I know, like, there's a lot of ranchers in North Dakota. And you better love that. You better love ranching and farming just like you do music if you're going to try to to run a ranch or a farm.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine, especially if you're running like crop. Well, I mean, even cattle. If your cattle get a disease and you lose a bunch, or like if the weather doesn't cooperate with your crop and it doesn't grow, you're just screwed, dude. You're done.
Just the hours.
Hours and hours.
All day. Sun up, sundown.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy, man? I couldn't imagine. I'm definitely not cut out to work that hard.
That's the thing like that I'm thankful for, that's because I mean, you're just talking about hours upon hours. I have spent just as long playing music that I have working, doing whatever on the farm. So I'm very thankful for that portion of my life that still goes on today, but
probably where you got that work ethic, because you're obviously not scared to work, the way you're traveling around and playing different places. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you already told us about playing the bars that, sometimes you go into and nobody's listening to you, but what stands out as a nightmare gig or sometime on stage that you remember that was just embarrassing?
Oh man, that's a good question. That is a very good question. Like I said, I've only been playing gigs for about a year now, so. But when I first started, I look back at some videos and the setup. I like one of my very first gigs that I ever actually played and sang at and all that jazz. The setup was just insane. It was some podunk, rinky-dink bar, and I had a computer sitting on a chair and with lyrics all over it. I didn't have a guitar that had a pickup in it at the time, so I had a microphone stand coming around, microphone stand coming to me, and That's definitely, every time I see a picture or video from that, I can't hardly see it. That's definitely a nightmare style deal right there.
Dude, I think I thought of something else. I think I remember one time at I was over at one of Kim's bars and they didn't have a mic stand, and we used a mop handle and taped a mic to like a base of something, maybe a speaker stand base or something crazy, and a mic handle
I'd
at
love
this
to have a
angle.
picture of that.
Oh my god!
I might have a picture of that, dude. I might see if I can
That's
break it out.
hilarious.
That could be a good meme or something.
Yeah.
So who's the last local independent artist you listened to? Maybe in your area or the region you play, or
Oh, so it's got, is it local, as you said?
Doesn't have to be.
just whatever
Just-
that means to you. Somebody independent that maybe people haven't heard of. That
Well, like I said, my buddy, his name's Jonah Carden, and he's got music out and all that type of stuff. But he's from my hometown or from the same county, and he's the one I mentioned earlier that helped me out a lot. And he's
Okay.
got some great music. It's more so on the rockish side, but yeah, he's definitely got some good music, and he does everything you hear and see and everything. He does it all himself. He doesn't have a booking agent, none of that. Does everything. So he's helped me a whole lot get out there to different restaurants, put my name out there some, and
There need to be more people like him, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
there is.
I think so. That it's important, especially for younger guys, man, to have somebody that kind of shows them the way,
Yeah.
helps them out a little bit, shows them the ropes, tells them, what not to do, what to do, who to talk to. That's big, man. I don't know if that happens a lot. I know the Louisville community is pretty tight, but there's always room for everybody, right?
yeah, this the first little tour you went out on, to travel around and play at 18. Were you by yourself? Did you do it on your own? Did you just go out? And,
I was first time I actually like traveled to play rather than say 2 hours. So further than about 2 hours, it was. I was by myself. Actually, no, I had my buddy with me, and we pulled an all-nighter because at that time I didn't have my van, so I was in my Jeep, and I went all the way down to Ohio from my hometown. It was like a 3.5 hour drive. Played. There was maybe like 10 people there the whole time. Went back home, but still, even then, I was like, you know what? That was fun.
yeah.
It's
It's
like
got in your blood, huh?
Didn't even
Yeah.
make that much money, but then since then I've been traveling a lot.
So did I see when I was looking you up and doing a little research for the podcast, I came across a local channel. You had were you on American Idol or audition or what's that all about? Tell us that story.
That's a long story, but I'll just give you the rundown. So my state fair, and I'm actually lucky enough to live about 35 minutes from where they hold the West Virginia State Fair. So anyway, State Fair had this thing with American Idol where you could send in a video, and pretty much they picked from however many hundred it was. And long story short, I ended up getting first place out of that. And along with that, you got to audition like through the computer for American Idol.
Was it during
And
COVID or?
This was last August, so
Huh.
coming up on a year ago, yeah. And went through all of that, did the audition on the computer. Then they ended up calling me back, and they were like, "Yeah, you want to come to Las Vegas to do it in front of like the judges, what you see on TV?" And I was like, "Well, heck yeah!" Went and did that, and was in Vegas for about a week, and ended up getting a golden ticket. Out of all of
Really?
that, yeah. So I got 3 yeses, which was like, I didn't know what to think because that was kind of crazy. I'd never even been on a plane before that.
Oh wow, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was a little wild, but so anyway, then about in December, that was in October or in September, and this past December went to Hollywood, and they had 3 rounds. And made it through the first one, made it through the second one, like the duet round. Sure, you've seen videos of
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
And then the third round, called like the Performance Challenge or something like that, whatever it's called. And they have a band and blah, blah, blah. And that's where I ended up getting cut. So I spent 2 weeks in LA and they just showed little bits and pieces of it on TV, but that still was a big help. Getting my name out there, that got me a lot of exposure, a whole lot of exposure. So
did you see, did you see I'm sure you saw the effects of that like on your socials and things?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd play that up like crazy. I was on
I did for a little while. Then it got old, but
That's awesome,
it
man.
really did help out a lot with.
Plus, it's a cool story, man. You got to go to Las Vegas, then to LA.
Met some of the coolest people. I knew everybody who was on the show and all that. The guy who won. I mean, we were all great friends. So
stay in contact with any of those people? Yeah,
every day.
That's cool.
Every day. So that's
okay.
Made really good contacts and whatnot. So.
Awesome.
Interesting. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
How about another tune?
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. This one's called Liv's song. This little love song for my girlfriend. Her name's Liv. So this is Liv's song.
Liv, then I assume, right? All right. I don't want to spell it wrong. What'd she think of that one? She better like it.
Oh, she loves it. She loves it.
So Liv must be pretty supportive of your career aspirations.
She's a big help with everything music and all that. So
I did notice how clean your teeth were.
Pearly whites.
She did actually. I just went to the dentist not that long ago.
There you go.
She was there. So
I just had a root canal today, Liv.
Yeah, man.
Like just a few hours ago. So if I'm slurring certain words, I'm not drunk.
That's
the type of
stuff
I was going to have to fill in for
stroke.
Brad earlier today.
Oh, when I got home, I called Cindy and said, I got to stop at the store and get some ibuprofen. I couldn't say ibuprofen. Only one side of my mouth worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man. Root canal, no big deal. Standard procedures.
So what's the story about the cabin session?
The cabin session. Well, first off, it's named the cabin session because I recorded the whole thing myself, which you can kind of tell on some of them. But I recorded it myself on the front porch of the cabin that I lived in for a while. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
Did you put the crickets in there?
Oh no, it's all natural.
Is it?
And
that's cool.
One take type of stuff. So straight through all that.
Yeah, I listened to it today. I like it. Yeah.
What you recorded with?
Thank you. I've recorded it with a MacBook and an old crappy Yeti microphone. I've upgraded since then, but man, it was quite hard to get it and be loud into it without having all the fuzzy stuff.
Yeah, those Yetis don't take much noise, do they?
Yeah.
Hey, man.
And wasn't even a mic that was meant for that, but
No.
That's what I had, so that's what I used. It worked,
man.
So was that a cabin in Union?
That's
West Virginia?
Yeah, it's not far from Union, but yeah, about 20 minutes from Union. So yeah, I lived in that for a while. It's still stay in it pretty often, every now.
Is it like a family cabin? It's been the family, or
grandma's? So
man, there's some charm to be said. I know you might think that like that microphone and that setup was but there's charm and stuff like that, man. Sometimes, like David Gray. I don't know if y'all remember David Gray. I think he had this album called like White Ladder or something, but he lived in London, like in the city, I believe, if I'm remembering the story right. And he would open his window and record the songs, and you can hear the outside of, and it was
street noise.
You can hear it all, but it adds.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
It adds an ambiance to that record. It ended up being one of the top records of the year. I mean, it was a big record. But part of it, I do believe, was the ambiance that was created by having. It's like, dude, this feels like I'm sitting right next to him.
Vibe.
Yeah.
Did he one mic it? Was it a one mic? Do you know?
I believe so. Probably. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. So yeah, I mean, don't discount how cool that is in many ways, and you'll probably look back on it in years and be like, I'm so glad that I did that I took the time, that I got that stuff out, that I started building this stuff, man, because there's charm to that stuff.
I mean, that took me, for just those 6 songs, that took me weeks to record, and I was just trying to get it right. And still, when I listen to it now, you can obviously tell it's not perfect, but it's as close as it's gonna get with what I was working with.
Character.
Did you do any editing and post, or you just record it and go with it?
I did some, like, as in, you can kind of hear a little bit of reverb and stuff, but nothing more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
cool.
All one take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's also another thing that adds an element of charm, man.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was even really doing with it, but gave it a shot, I guess.
So when you record, like, were there some of those, 6 songs, were all of them done, or did you kind of hit record and see what happened on a few of them, or how'd that turn out?
They were all written and like exactly how I wanted them to be, pretty much, I guess. And then I got to recording them, but Cricket actually was written like the day that it was the first song that I played. It was written the day that it was recorded.
Oh, so yeah.
I wrote it, and then I really liked it, so I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm going to record that one. So did that one.
So what's kind of, in the future coming up for you? You got any songs coming down the pipe? What's going on with you?
Yeah, I've got a lot. I was just saying earlier how it took me forever to get writing songs down, and then when I finally did kind of learn how to write a song, I guess, because I mean it does take learning, really. But I have in the past year, I write all the time, even if it doesn't come out to be nothing. I write constantly, so I've got a lot of songs. And I do all the recording myself as of now, and I have upgraded my equipment just a little bit. But I do all the recording myself, so since about May or so, or June, whatever, I've been working on recording a whole album to hopefully get out by hopefully August, beginning of September.
Man, so that's. Have you been recording? Or are you just gonna do it?
I have been recording. I've been recording when I get a chance, and then a lot of it sometimes comes out the way I want it to, and then sometimes I might go back and re-record it 40 other times. Some, you know, I've been working on it in the process of it. So.
Right on, man.
Well, Caden, our listeners that want to follow you, where can they find you?
You can find me anywhere at Caden Glover, CadenGlover. You can go to my website, cadenglover.com. And once again, you can find all my music anywhere you look it up, anywhere you look up my name.
Well, man, we appreciate you making this a stop between West
man,
Virginia and Dry Ridge, Kentucky.
Absolutely.
I've enjoyed talking to you.
Having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to ask you to take us out with another song. What do you have for us?
Heck yeah. This one's called Picking Up the Pieces. This is one of my many favorites to play, and it's on the cabin session. So,
that is a good song, really good song. Remember this one.
Well, I got a few friends in the old town where I grew up. Sit around and get high, Jesus smoking the bud. Some music and you know he ain't got no cap. Some folks ask us, boy, when he gonna cut the head hair? Said to cut your hair. We've been picking up the pieces, been picking up the pieces, yeah. Lord said it's hard to get by when you're living in this here crazy life, picking up the pieces, yeah. In my brother's garage, just gathering dust. It's an old C10 just to heat up with rust. No motor, no trans. Roll what they say on because I got the bright idea one day to take it apart and throw in a cam. I told myself, a mechanic I am. When we fired her up for its first drive, you could see the smoke and you could hear the wine. Now we're picking up the pieces, She we're picking up the pieces, yeah. Lord said it's hard to get by when you're living in this here crazy life, picking up the pieces, yeah. Well, I've had many people tell me, son, you're a fool. Really, I can't argue with that. But I got the soul guitar and it's all I need till Jesus comes a stepping back. Well, you can find me out on my back porch, riding around in my old Jeep. Still be the same damned old laid-back fool with no agenda up and none of my feet. As I stay picking up the pieces, stay picking up the pieces, yeah. Lord said it's hard to get by when you're living in this here crazy life, picking up the pieces, yeah.
a lot, Caden. Enjoyed it.
Thank y'all for having me.